What's up guys, Sheldon back with another review, and today we are looking at the Super Action Statue GYRO ZEPPELI from Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run. So finally we've got Gyro here, and I'm pretty excited not only to finally show him to you, but talk about him because he's got some new engineering actually for the Super Action Statue line, and I do hope that they continue using this same kind of, I guess, body. But that being said though, let's go ahead and take a look at the box really quickly. So here are some poses you could put Gyro in. Here is a visual of the accessories that it comes with, so a pretty decent slew of hands, which we'll take a close look at in a second. You see that he comes with a pair of steel balls over here, but he actually comes with a set of 4, so two pairs. He's got this effect part, a display stand, and a total of 2 heads. Now I do want to say that this is, and let me see if it's on the box here. No, it doesn't say. Okay, so this is actually a Wonder Festival 2017 exclusive, which means that unfortunately you're not able to get him, well, he's not available retail. So I don't know why they decided to release Gyro, like it's such a limited run, but this is the exclusive version. They will have a, I suppose, like wider release eventually. I just don't know when, and I don't even know what color it's going to be. That being said though, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the accessories. To start us off, Gyro comes with a pair of fists. He comes with a pair of straight finger hands. He comes with a pair of gripping hands for the balls, and so you see that the balls are actually removable. To put them in, you just slide them in here. And you can see that the hand is not on all the way. It's pretty hard to slide the hand on because it's like if you try to push it on, the fingers collapse. So what I recommend is you can just put the ball in his hand first, and then that way when you push down on the fingers, they don't collapse. They just kind of wrap around the ball, and that way he can get it secure. But he does come with a pair of gripping hands. Gyro comes with a pair of straight finger hands with pegs on them for you to also hold the steel balls. So I left one off on purpose that I can show you here. You've got the peg on the hand, you've got the hole on the steel ball. You put one and one together, and you get to the ball in the hand. Alright, and that pretty much does it for the hands over here though. I do like that the hands are a different posture. It's a nice touch. Alright, I also left the hand half off so I can take it off really easy. To show you the last accessory he comes with, he also comes with this effect part that you saw in the back of the box a second ago. But for this one, all you do is you put it onto the wrist over here. You put the hand back on, and now you can get an effect part that looks like Gyro is throwing the ball. So I really, really like this piece. Super Action Statue doesn't come with that many effect parts, despite all the cool effects that Jojo has, so it's a nice touch. Alright, so aside from the hands though, Gyro also comes with, as you can see, the steel balls, and like I mentioned before, he comes with a set of 4. You also noticed here that he has these pouches, and they're not for show. You can actually keep the balls in the pouches. They're a little hard to get out afterwards though, but let me just show you that they do in fact work. Okay, so you pull the ball out here, and do be careful, these pegs on the hand are very, very small, so you don't want to snap them by accident. But over here, you just slide them in, like so, and they hold pretty snugly. Again, the drawback is that they hold so well that you're going to have to push them out with like a paper clip or like a Q-tip or something, and you want to be careful not to scratch the paint. So they're helpful, maybe just a little too helpful. Okay, so aside from that, Gyro also comes with an alternate head. And before I talk about the alternate head, let's talk about the hat, because the hat itself is actually a separate piece. So each of these little lines, by the way, if you can't tell, they're actually sculpted in, so that's a pretty nice touch. And the hat itself is painted pretty well, nice shading, and I do like that the goggle is a separate piece that's kind of sculpted on here though. It's pretty nice. It's got the Kanye West glasses over here. And Gyro does look pretty funny without the hat though, so it's to be expected. And it is a ball joint or socket, so apparently you can move it around a little bit, just a little bit, so that's fun actually. It's not significant, but it's a nice touch. Though personally, I feel like Gyro's face, I don't know, from certain angles his face looks a little bit too long, and it might be because the hat doesn't sit on his head like super correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like the top of the head is at the base, and then the hat goes up like on top of the head. So maybe it's just me. Let me know what you think, though. But he comes with the neutral face over here, and the lips are painted pretty cleanly, as usual, as well as the face. Let me get a zoom in here. Well, let me look over the camera. Okay, it's pretty hard to show up on camera, but his eyes are blue, and the eyebrows are painted pretty cleanly over here, and he's got the his beard of squares. All right, and the hair itself is one piece. He also comes with an alternate yelling face over here. So same face, different expression. My only gripe is that the face, the eyebrows are angry, but there's something about the eyes themselves that don't look angry. I don't know, they kind of look bored, and I think that's a problem with more than just this figure, though. The angry faces just don't look angry enough. It's just, I think the eyes themselves need to also be slanted, not just the eyebrows. That's a small gripe, but it looks good from certain angles, though. He does not come with a smiling face, though, which is really unfortunate, because I really wanted a face with the grin that says GYRO ZEPPELI. So who knows, maybe the regular version will have it, maybe not. The grill is such a small part of the figure that maybe it's just not possible. So that does it for the accessories that the figure itself comes with. This particular version, though, the Winter Festival version, also comes with this speech bubble over here. And my friend told me it says something like, believe in the spin. The spin is an invincible power. Believe in that. Believe it, right? So I really like that they have a speech bubble accessory, because again, these are rare, and I love that it talks about the spin like in such a direct way. So fantastic accessory. I'm glad that I have it. But again, only comes with this version, unfortunately. Okay, so that's enough for the accessories. Let's go ahead and take a look at Gyro's articulation. Alright, so Gyro's articulation is pretty standard, since it is still a super action statue, but it does have slightly different joints. So I'm going to pull the hat off just so it's easier to show you stuff. Sorry, Gyro, you're going to have to look ugly for a little bit here. But the neck is actually no longer on that socket. It's on like a literal peg. So you have the swivel over here, and you do get it to rotate. The base of the neck, unfortunately, has no articulation. So the head is actually very limited in articulation, and in fact, it's actually pretty difficult to manage. So if I have a gripe about Gyro, it's definitely the head and the neck articulation. I mean, I don't mind the neck base not having it, but having to, basically not being able to have him tilt his head around, and having to take the head off to get him to like lean his head. So you can look forward pretty decent. You can only look so far back thanks to the hair. Again, I'm not complaining about that, though. It's to be expected. But if I want Gyro to lean his head to the side, like he's questioning something, you have to take the head off like this, pivot it around, and then put it back on before you can get him to do like any of this stuff. So that's a little annoying. His shoulder, though, it's on the barbell joint, pretty similar to how the newer figures have it, like Whitesnake and Anasui. But a barbell's like one of those weights when you work out with, though. So it's difficult to see. Let me see if I can show it to you, though. But you have it pegged right here, and it's a socket. So you do get a little bit of rotation like this in the shoulder, which is nice. You don't have a butterfly joint, which is what I prefer, but you still get the motion over here. You do get the horizontal. The bicep swivel does not exist, but you do have a swivel at the shoulder, so that takes care of that. You do have double jointed elbows. Really, really good range of motion, and the elbow pad is actually different. You can see that it actually goes a little farther into the elbow, and it's actually bigger. So for a point of comparison, oh, actually, I'll do it later. But here is the elbow articulation over here. The wrist, it's the same articulation. You just have that hinged, and you can get it to rotate. For the diaphragm, you have a socket right here, and I believe you have a socket down here as well, which means that combined, and let me see if I can get this without intruding on the camera, you get about this much going forward. Much more going back, though. So crunch forward, not that great. I do like that they sculpted it all the way up there, so that's pretty nice, though. And then for the hips, this is what I'm most excited about. So let me get this to focus. I do apologize. So the hips are actually different now. They're more like the SH Figure Art hips, which means you can get them to finally go out into the splits. So you can see here, they just have that cut that lets them go into the splits. So well done, super action statue, finally. And then you have the thigh swivel right here. Here is the range going forward, going backwards, not too much. The butt does get in the way a little bit over here though. And then you have double jointed knees. Pretty good range of motion right there. And then for the ankles, unfortunately, still the same. You have it going this far back, this far forward. You do get some rotation, and the ankle rocks about this far. Okay, so that does it for the articulation over here, though. But finally, you can get him to do the splits. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, I forgot to mention, almost forgot to mention, that his scarf or cape, or I don't even know what it really is, but his scarf is articulated as well. It's on those hinges too, though, so it's pegged into this, pegged into the shoulder over here. So it does hinge. It does move around. It's a bit cumbersome though, but it does also move. I forgot to mention, you also have a swivel in the elbow, as well as a pivot or swivel in the knee. All right, cool. So that does it for the articulation. Let's go ahead and take a look at the paint a bit more closely, as well as do a comparison between the joints of other figures. All right, so Gyro stands about to the top of his hat. Looks like 6¼ inches tall, which makes him, let's see, to the top of his hat, from here at least, looks like 16 centimeters. Here he is next to Guido Mista, and it looks like they're approximately the same height. Maybe he's a little taller, but it's probably thanks to this hat over here, though. So let's talk paint and sculpt really quickly. So you saw the gist of it when I was doing the articulation, but Gyro, man, is painted really, really nicely. I suppose it's not really a surprise when it comes to super action statue, but I think something else that I really like is the sculpt, and I don't know, sometimes super action statues, the joints are not done that well. Like sometimes you can see over here when you straighten the leg out, the leg for the most part is like actually straight. Sometimes there's a little too much of the top of the knee, so he can actually start looking like a bird, and they finally did that correct over here. So that's really, really nice. Okay, enough about that though. So if we take a closer look over here, I somehow got a paint scratch, which sucks, but the chest is painted and sculpted very neatly. You have the little balls here, all painted metallic blue. Very well done here. And you do have those straps kind of sculpted in there, so that's pretty nice. Personally, if I could, I hoped that like the straps could have been painted individually as well, but I know it's actually just one color. It's just, if it was like a slightly different shade, it would have had more like definition, but that's just me being spoiled. Okay, these bands on his his bicep though, are also sculpted on, and they're painted pretty cleanly. Let me see if I can get this to focus a little better. The app that I use to film on it's a little wonky. I don't know, it's not that reliable sometimes, so I do apologize if it's out of focus over here though. Okay, and as you can see though, the belt does have the belt buckle that points to his dong, so I love it. I love it. And the belt is painted pretty well. And you also see that he has those pouches. I left that steel ball in there. It's just the steel ball that I put in at the beginning of the video, and it's still stuck in there. But here is the back as well, though. Let me see if I can get this scarf out of the way. So the back is more plain. There's actually no sculpting on there, and I don't know if he actually has the same texture on the back in the manga. If you do know, let me know. And then his butt, it's got the pockets, which is great. Great detail that they put it in there, right? You need pockets if you're gonna do a trans-American race. And then the pants are pretty done well too. So he has, I don't know what they're called, but it's like the cowboy pants, right? You have your regular pants, and then you have like the leather on top of it. Chaps? Are they chaps? I don't know, but his calves are painted as well, or shaded pretty nicely. And then he's got his boots over here. He's got the blue metallic spurs, and I really like that. It's painted all the way down to the boot, and there's even shading at the bottom. So that's a really nice touch there. Okay, so let's actually compare the joints a little bit over here, though. So let me pop, well, no, I'll leave the hat back on. So like I mentioned, the elbow cap is actually a little bit better than the older ones. So even when you bend it all the way, the cap is still like deeply in there. If you compare it to Mista's, you can see that the Mista's cap is actually pretty small, right? Gyro's goes a little bit bigger, okay? And then Mista is an example of the older joint where it's just that simple socket like that, right? And it doesn't have that cut there, so he can't do the splits, but Gyro can, which you can see here. And then I believe that is actually primarily it aside from the neck. So overall, I really do like Gyro. Gyro is actually my favorite character, so I'm really happy that when he came, they fixed the problems with sometimes like the knees bending too far, the hips kind of like being limited, gave him new hips, and the new engineering on the elbows, as well as the shoulders also. Forgot to mention, right? Guido Mista, you see it's just a simple peg into the bicep, whereas Gyro has the barbell, so it gives them the good articulation over here. So overall, I do recommend Gyro if you can get it. That's the only problem, though. It's a limited edition. He's a very popular character, even among, like, in Japan. So he is going to run you, like, well over $100, easily, close to 200, actually. If you want to look for him, you can find him in Yahoo Japan. If you want this version. Otherwise, I would say wait for the mass release, but I don't know when that is, unfortunately. Okay, that pretty much does it for this review, though. I'll put Gyro in a couple poses at the end over here. But if you enjoyed, feel free to give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Yeah, see you guys next time.